Hey Dragon Slayers, today's video is about how high cholesterol isn't a dietary problem, part 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. Let's get started. So the Framingham Diet Study is an ambitious study which ran from 1957 to 1960 and involved over 1,000 participants attempting to find a connection between dietary fat and blood cholesterol, which researchers had already strongly believed existed. After millions of dollars and years of painstaking observation, exasperated researchers failed to discover any discernible correlation between dietary fat and blood cholesterol levels. Whether people ate a lot of fat or little fat made no difference to the cholesterol. These findings clashed vigorously with the prevailing conventional wisdom, and researchers were presented with a choice. They could accept these results and search for a nutritional theory closer to the truth, or they could simply ignore them and continue to believe what had been just proven false. Unfortunately, they took the latter choice. The results were tabulated and then quietly suppressed and never published in a peer-reviewed journal. Dissenters to nutritional orthodoxy, no matter how correct, were not to be tolerated. Decades later, Dr. Mitchell Eades tracked down a lost copy of this important study. The statistician, Tavia Gordon, lamented, "Unfortunately, these data were never incorporated into the definitive report by the original investigators, and a large amount of very careful and thoughtful work has lain unused in the Framingham files." The study found that there was a straight negative association between daily intake of total fat and also of animal fat with serum cholesterol levels. In other words, the more dietary fat eaten, the lower the blood cholesterol. And a local newspaper article from the town of Framingham in 1970 plainly stated, "There is no discernible relationship between reported dietary intake and serum cholesterol levels in the Framingham Diet Study group. But the low-fat religion prevailed, and the healthy high-fat foods such as nuts, avocados, and olive oil were incriminated for decades." But the truth cannot be suppressed forever, and other studies went on to confirm that dietary fat does not raise cholesterol. The link between dietary fat and cholesterol was studied in a community of Michigan in 1979. The population was divided into 3 groups based on blood cholesterol levels: low, medium, and high. The dietary habits of each group were compared, and to the researchers' surprise, each group ate identical amounts of fats: animal fats, saturated fats, and cholesterol. Once again, it was clear that eating fat did not raise blood cholesterol. A 1970 article in the Framingham-Natick News pointed out that the Framingham Diet Study showed no relationship between diet and blood cholesterol levels. Another study fed one group of volunteers a diet that was 22% fat and a second group of a diet that was 39% fat. Baseline cholesterol for both groups was 173. After 50 days, the cholesterol levels in the low-fat group plummeted to 173. Oh, and the high-fat diet didn't raise cholesterol much either. After 50 days, cholesterol levels in the high-fat group increased only marginally to 177. Even following a very strict diet has no beneficial effects on blood cholesterol. In one study, LDL did decrease marginally by 5%, but HDL also decreased by 6%. Since both bad and good cholesterol dropped, the overall risk profile was not improved. Despite all the evidence in the contrary, national dietary guidelines in the United States and United Kingdom were introduced in 1977 and 1983, recommending adhering to a low-fat diet in order to reduce the risk of heart disease. A careful meta-analysis and systemic review by Zoe Harcum confirmed there was no evidence that these recommendations would be effective. either at the time of publication or today. Millions of people follow a low-fat, low-cholesterol diet because they think that it's good for their heart, without realizing that these measures were long ago proven to be ineffective. Frank Hugh and Walter Willett of the Harvard School of Public Health wrote in 2001, "It is now increasingly recognized that the low-fat campaign has been based on little scientific evidence and may have caused unintended health consequences." So does this mean that the only reliable way to lower blood cholesterol is to take drugs? Hardly. There is one simple, natural measure that lowers cholesterol: fasting. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. And remember, guys, that together, you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.